Hi.
Hey,
Hello,
hi.
baby.
Oh
Let
my
me
goodness. Oh,
fix
Nice
my
to.
so hi,
camera.
baby.
Hi.
It looks like
Hi.
you're
So
sitting
nice to
on a
meet you.
throne.
So nice to meet you. Well,
Nice
I
to meet
have to
you.
see who my line is because my
I
hair is a mess today.
Oh, don't even talk to me about hair. I
know
cut
you
it
look
myself, so I'm
amazing.
like,
Oh my God.
it's
I
like a
love
different hair.
it. I love it.
Thank you so
How are
much.
you
I swear it's
guys?
different. However it wants to part itself, it changes my face
Oh
completely.
my God. I love that.
Thank you
I
so
used
much.
to.
No, you look good,
Yeah.
Stephanie, like a real
Oh,
Latina.
you're a Latina?
Oh, I
You're a
am.
Latina.
Yeah. I'm
Huh?
Bolivian. You're Dominican, right?
I'm Salvadorian, Dominican, and Haitian.
Oh, cool. I'm from Jersey,
Yeah.
Ooh,
but I live in the Bronx now, so I'm around all the
that's
Caribbean
exotic.
Latinos
Oh
now.
yeah, yeah.
Kind of getting
I,
to know
I
that.
let go of my place uptown this summer. I was living in Washington Heights. I still had my place for 10 years.
Nice.
Since,
Wow.
even though I was still here in LA, I still
Mm.
kept it. So after the pandemic,
Okay.
it really made sense. So yeah.
New
So
York
nice
or
to
LA? If you
Cool.
had to choose New York or LA. I love LA.
um I'm from New Jersey,
Oh,
so
okay, me too.
I would definitely say LA.
Okay. Which part of Jersey are you from?
I'm from Elizabeth.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I was
I was
born
born
and
in
raised.
Englewood, New Jersey, but I was
Okay.
raised in mostly South Orange. You know South Orange,
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
oranges? Yeah.
yeah. It's pretty interesting. Hello.
Hey.
Pretty interesting.
I was trying to add my
Hi,
friend to the stage, but it
sweetie.
doesn't matter.
So, Steph, as you know, we are a team, so we will take turns with questions and everything. But I don't want it to be like an interview. I
Yeah,
like it to be just like a conversation, and improvise that and see where it goes.
yeah,
I think we're all capable to do that, right? My first interviews, I always had a list, but then it's not so like it has to be um,
right.
personal, intimate, and not
Yeah.
so
I'm
strict.
doing
How
really
you
good.
doing?
I am very introverted these days. I kind of stick to myself. I not stick to myself. I would just say like I have a son, so he keeps me very busy. I really enjoy being a mom and doing lots of things I had no idea that I would enjoy doing. So, as opposed to like 10 years ago when I was out and, out at brunch drunk with my friends, now I'm like making jam with my son.
Mm,
Yeah.
So, it's like different
mm,
sources of happiness for me. Um, I've been really like I would
mm,
say I just been mostly on a healing journey. I know it sounds really
mm,
um
mm.
hippie-ish, but I mean that's kind of what I had to do after I got off this human experiment.
Um,
Mhm, mhm. Do you feel like a lab
I
rat
did,
when you
but
did the
I
show?
also wanted to get into production, so I kind of knew that I could just sit around and be very observative to see how everything went. And I lived on this set, so I really took
Mhm,
advantage of seeing, how people operated or talking to the staff, asking how they got into it and all of that. So instead of being like, "Oh, I want to be the baddest bad girl," I'm like, "I want to get a job and I want to like improve my quality of life. How do I get into it?" So I did feel like a lab rat, but
yeah.
um, I kind of have a little bit of routine and a separate life than just being in the house. So, I also like struggled with depression when I was in the house. Like I was, I had a lot of anxiety. I was
Mm,
always hungover or, I just kind of wanted like I'm a loner in real life and I lived alone before that. So I wanted my space to myself. And in those areas, you can't really have them. You're living amongst so many people and you have like almost a
it-
50 staff around you.
yeah.
So you really don't have time for yourself. So after that, I really dedicated my life
Mm,
to, okay, I really want peace in my life. And I want to have longevity in a career instead of just having to be in front of the screen. And yeah, that's just all I
mm,
wanted. It was really simple for me. But yeah, I did feel like a lab rat. Once I saw how they operated, I kind of just took on and was like, okay, this is what I have to do, and this is who I be.
mm.
And you know, it just worked out for me.
Okay. Yeah, you were especially one of the girls who had a better experience, right? You didn't receive so much hate after the show, like Valentina, for example, or girls who were portrayed as bullies or something.
Yeah, I
Your
would
experience
say
was
my
better,
experience was,
right?
I wouldn't say
So,
better because a lot of people bullied me for like, oh, why didn't you fight? Or, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that?
yeah, that's corny.
For a,
Like
a beautiful
that's
couch,
so
I just wanted a
unnecessary to
beautiful
even.
couch. But it's like you know, everyone has their own thing, and I didn't want to give them too much material to work off of to manipulate whether it goes one way or another. So I just kind of kept to myself.
Mhm.
Whatever I did give them, I knew that I was giving it. I was very aware of myself, even if I
Mhm.
was drunk. Well, it's not really, but I kind of just you just have to really be aware with it. Like I had a really good experience, but like like I said, I also had bouts of depression and stuff like that. I wish I would have done more for myself on the show. Like I wish I would have had like a gym routine or
Mhm.
like cooked more or did more things for like self-love instead of trying to be involved with this whole because
Mhm.
it's I wish I would have portrayed myself in a better light as an Afro Latina and a Latina and a Black girl because like I
Mhm.
started to see a little bit different. I know I'm kind of going off in my wig or whatever, but I'm just like I'm thinking. I started seeing how I didn't want them to portray me as or all of us, as a whole, in which they do as wild Black girls,
Mhm. That's
American girls that are out of
that's
control, things of that sort. So I wanted to be myself and show a little bit of a different because I'm alternative, I'm different. I listen to rock music, I skateboard. I'm a little bit
Mhm.
hippie-ish, so I think that you either liked my personality or you didn't. So I still received hate. I just didn't give them too much material to hate me off of. Like I didn't have a fight where they were like, "Oh, girl, you didn't
true.
do this, you didn't do that." So I would say I had a better experience because I didn't
You
give
just, yeah,
people too much to
yeah,
hold on to.
yeah. Um, was it the way you are and the way you handle confrontations? Is it uncomfortable to be on to be around so many fights? Like, did it make you feel uncomfortable that
Yeah,
there
I
was
mean,
constantly
essentially, you're
fighting
living in
going
like a
on,
domestic violence situation.
and it was graphic fights in your season a lot and stuff. So, did that make you feel uncomfortable, or did that trigger your
I
depression,
wouldn't.
for
I
example?
wouldn't say that because I'm, just living on the East Coast and coming from Jersey. You're kind of like already everyone just beating each
Yeah.
other up, and friends, all of that. I come from a tough place, so I was already used to that. What I wasn't used to is like if we would get into a fight, we wouldn't be allowed to go certain places. So it would kind of mess up my whole
Mhm.
world of like, oh, now y'all are beefing, so you guys have to figure this out on camera before we can actually go to the mall and get more concealer or, certain things. We were banned from a lot of different places. So I think I was used to
Mhm.
traveling and, having fun and going on trips and backpacking with my friends. And essentially I was kind of like on this televised glamorous house arrest because you can't walk out of the front door.
Yeah.
I like went
Yeah.
streaking and took my clothes off and ran in the front door, and I got in so much trouble for it because like you're not supposed to leave the front door. So just think about it. You're a free spirit, and you're a little bit different.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that everybody else was the same. Everybody was different, but you're a little bit more quiet than everybody else and like you're just soaking everything in. I'm a person that's very present and I see everything. So I was soaking everything in. It was like
Mhm.
sensory overload. And so I got depressed. I remember the first week I was like, how am I going to do this? Because I was so used to having my own routine, going out with my friends, going out to brunch, having new friends, making new friends. And you can't really make friends in these
Mhm.
settings because A, they can't just come over to the house. It's a whole 3-hour process to get them in the house and to check their background and to call people and to do all this and that. So I think it was mostly that, like, I was losing my identity, like growing as a person and having to be in this like little cage that's beautiful. So I think that was very like, you know, a lot for me.
Yeah, and even on All Star Battle, it showed how deep the friendships are, right? Because you're playing a game, and then at the end, you're arguing with
Yeah,
somebody that you really care
I mean, now
for
we see
something that was
we're older,
so
you know, I'm
little.
gonna be 32 in a couple weeks. So I was the youngest one. I was 21, you know,
Yeah.
so you just think about it. Things that you argued that you cared about 10 years ago really don't mean anything now. The only thing about that is that we got caught on camera with it and everybody else didn't. You know, just think about you going to college, you know, and you go to
Mhm.
college and you have all these wild parties and you know your friend shows you the next day that you blacked out and fought 3 people and woke up with an ice cream in your hand. And
No,
you know,
yes, it
it's
happens
instead
a
of your friend just
lot.
showing you, you're literally watching this, you know, on a screen the same time you guys are watching it. So it's a lot of level of shame, you know, because
Mhm.
everybody on that show has an alpha personality. We all go through a very extensive personality test and psychological testing, tons and tons of rounds of it. And so everyone has an alpha personality in their own way. You put all these people in one
Yes,
setting
yes, that,
and you have, because they know everything we have, you have undiagnosed mental illnesses, you have people weaning off of drugs, you have people with PTSD, you have different personalities all in one setting that are alphas trying to alpha out each other. And mostly, one thing I will say is everything that we do have in common is this borderline personality disorder that everybody has, and everyone is
yes,
in this
yes.
same war pole of a fucking haze, you know, in order to sign your life up for this. And you know, every single girl there is unique. Everyone there is a star in their own way. Go through, you know, thousands and
Absolutely.
thousands of girls and videos and auditions. So everyone is badass in their own way. Everyone is capable of, I mean, these women are mostly badass because you're your own stylist. You have to fund your own life essentially because you're getting paid $73 a day, which you know is thing. Nobody's making more than the other. I don't care what anyone says. Everyone gets paid in the same vanilla on
Of course.
you know, $500 at the end of the week with no royalties. I'm on a couple of streaming services right now and I'm not getting a paid of it, you know, a lick, because I took
Yeah.
that risk to, you know, when I'm 21, do I really want to sign this away for 10 years or do whatever? Why not? It worked out for me because I improved the quality of my life. I actually changed my life. My life changed after that. I wouldn't say like
Mhm.
everything was good and dandy because there's a certain level of privacy that you give up when you're on these shows.
Mhm.
Everyone, even when you're
Absolutely.
off these shows, people still feel like they know you because of, you know, watching you live for 30 hours, you know, in a whole season. So yeah, I would say all these women are amazing. It's just a different level of being exploited.
Absolutely.
I have a question.
Absolutely. Kelsey, do you have
Yeah.
a question?
So I
All
thought
right.
this was a deleted scene. Oh, sorry, what? I don't want to talk over
Hmm?
someone. I had said, are you aware of the deleted scene? I don't know if it's considered a deleted scene. I was watching Making It to the Mansion this morning, and it showed you on the phone, and Nikki says something about that wasn't my mom, and you guys just start arguing. Do you remember that? I
Yeah, I
don't think
remember that.
on
They made it
crap.
such a, I don't know why it's a deleted scene. It honestly was like, I hate using names or whatever, but it's like, it was just 101 of like house rules of just being a decent human being. And like, if somebody's mother calls, just not being an asshole and not clicking over or whatever. So I think that's just what it was like. Hey, I know we are here to like beat each other up and all that, but if somebody's mom calls, you know, anything could happen on the other line. And are very limited who we can speak to on the outside world. Everything is very recorded and all of that. So like if somebody's mom calls, you don't know what the fuck just happened at home. So just
Yeah.
pass on the call.
Mhm. just because.
Mhm.
You know,
Next.
that's all I got to say about that. And I think they just tried to make it into something different because I had nothing else that made me into
Yeah.
like this feisty girl. But like at the end of the day, 10 years later, if somebody's mom calls, pass them the motherfucking phone, no matter what the fuck it is. Okay. Like no matter what it is, just pass the phone.
For some context there, because they showed it as almost an introduction to Stephanie. You know, it's on making it to the mansion. They're introducing all the
I'm
girls.
like, I don't really argue with anyone.
Where's the
I mean,
scene?
look, people in my personal life would say that, you know, I could be argumentative because I still have a very feistiness to me and I like to ask questions. I'm an Aries. I'm very like, ugh. But
Hey, happy birthday.
thank you. It's coming up. I'll be 32. It sucks. It's like, whoa.
Oh.
It happened so fast.
I'm 32.
I know.
As a
You're
gay
like,
man, that's like
I really
68.
am 100. I don't drink alcohol. You know, I don't do hard drugs or anything like that. And like, I still feel like I'm burnt out.
Well, you look the same. I don't know if that's a compliment because I feel like it doesn't. Old is not, but we're not really old.
Yeah, no, she
Well, thank you. I've done a lot to my body.
Red.
So happy I'm here.
Okay, well,
Red, what was your
Stephanie, how
question?
long did it take for you to get used to the cameras and the people following you guys around with like a whole crew?
I would say a week. It's called Hell Week when you first get on there. You're getting used to your mic being on. You're used to overhead lights that you guys don't see that are fluorescent lighting. And, you know, if one person wakes up, all the fluorescent lights come on. You know, if you don't have your mic on, you'll get docked. They'll take $50 away from you, which sucks because they want to be able to hear everything. So I would say learning how to wear my mic and to keep it on me at all times was an adjustment. And then even more of an adjustment is unlearning how to walk around with, I guess, all of that on. So like even now I'll wake up and I'll still look for my mic and it's been 10 years. So
Wow.
just a thing. But yeah, I would say it took a good week to really learn how to be around people and then to have them in the house. I also did a reality show on TLC and Discovery, on Discovery Channel. And one of the producers, his name was Paul. He was also one of the creators of Bad Girls Club. It was filmed in my New York house. And I just went straight back into it because it was so natural to me to have the mic and all the lights everywhere. So I would say it takes about a good week. But that's also a very extreme situation. There's not a lot of shows that have you living on your set. So, you know, if you're an actor and actress or you have to wear a mic, you know, it'll take you a little bit longer. But with this, is like you have to have it on you all the time. So I would say it would take you a good week.
It's probably.
Is it true that it gives you burns sometimes when the batteries get too hot?
That could happen.
That's
It's
terrible.
pretty bad. I mean, it's like, you know, you have there's just you learn to live under surveillance. You know, so like I would think things and want to say them, but I would be like, I can't say it because I know I have my mic on. So it's.
How long have you been there? Because you've been to the end. Was it 3 months or 4? 3.
It's a long
wow, that's still a long time. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme. I mean, you guys saw 30 hours of 3 months that were cut up in 40-minute increments, which is nothing. I wish they would have showed more of the better times, like, you know, when we went to Paris and like when we were in Athens and like, you know, us like, you know.
Yeah, and I bet there were a lot of times where everybody got along and where it wasn't like
times that we didn't. All the women were incredible in their own way. Don't get me wrong. There was some that, you know, we couldn't stand each other at certain times, but like when we got together and we were out, it was like a force. Like we could have whatever the hell we had going on in the house, but if you tried to fuck with us and you were an outsider, we were like, you know, it was not happening. Like, hey, she's
course,
stupid, but
of
nobody can
course.
call her stupid but me. You know, everybody was just very like protective of each other. But we had great times. We loved being in
That
Europe. We were treated like princesses. Like they treated us amazing. Um, very no,
may I?
go ahead, go
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Okay. Okay. May I ask you about your relationship with Shannon? Because there were many, many scenes where
ahead.
I saw you guys smoking together or sitting together, but also production edited in a way like it was hard for you to listen to her and you were kind of
Yeah,
annoyed. And but on the other side, it looked like, okay, those guys
yeah.
seem to often spend time
I wish
together.
you would have showed.
Yeah. So how was it real? Because we know a lot of stuff is edited and shows us a
Yeah,
reality that wasn't
yeah.
reality.
That's true. We actually did smoke together a lot. Talk about our life before problems and things like that. Things that we wouldn't really talk about on camera or whatever. Yeah, we did. I did enjoy her at times. You know, there was other times where you kind of grow to like not like someone just because of, like housing things or you're for different personalities. But I thought she was very lovely in a lot of different ways. You know, I think she's like an amazing mom and a very outspoken person. And when she walks in the room, you can feel her energy, like regardless of what you think of her. So I feel like, you know, everybody on my season was put there for a reason. I wouldn't have been able to survive any other seasons. I feel like everyone in mine was just all pretty and super cutesy and like always dressed cute. Like we all kind of had a quirky personality, so we all got along. Um, I wish you guys would have seen this like scene of us. Like you guys got certain pieces, but like in Greece, we just had such a good time. Like you know, we were in Athens. They didn't show
Mhm.
that part. We were in Paris. They didn't show that part. Like we just had such a time.
Yeah. Why did they not show
Paris,
Paris?
go
I don't
out too much. They're just
understand.
smoking and terrorized the airport for 2 hours. You know, that's part. But Athens
Okay.
definitely walking the streets with the girls and seeing these like 1,000-year-old ruins and everyone's crying, fucking
Mhm.
wanting Pizza Hut and all that shit. You know, good moments and like we just had really good things. We would have talks and really deep conversations about trauma and things that we all kind of realized that we had in common. I say that most of like, you know, we had something in common and it wasn't just that we were all bad. I feel like we all had something that failed us before. We have a lot of
Mhm.
trauma and childhood trauma that we keep onto, and that's why it would make us do little childish things to each other and things of that sort. So I feel like it was
They they
sorry, go
they. Sorry. They finish. I think they perceive that in the casting process. We already talked to Jess Monet from the season after you about it. That's why the casting process is so long. That's why you
oh
get a like psych evaluation, and they know that you guys come
yeah.
from a rough past and everything, and they know when they put you
Well, it's
together, of
different
course it will clash.
personalities. You know, you got some
Definitely.
girls that are rich girls. You got some girls that were not. You know, you got some girls from different paths. That's why it's all different demographics. Let's see this human experiment. Let's get this rich girl from the OC that's got a drinking problem and put her with this girl that doesn't like this type of girl. You know, like it's to see how it all goes. But I wish we could have outsmarted it and kind of had our own language to kind of do our own thing because if you would have seen our interest in things that we like to do, you know, I feel like the world would have fell in love with them even more. These women are amazing. You got some of these women are cinematographers and directors and have degrees and things of that sort. I know I had one. I was I graduated from Aveda, top of my class, and was doing hair and makeup. I wasn't just a stripper or you know, from Harlem. There's a certain storyline and bits and pieces that they get and throw out there, but not everything that you see is true. Most of them are very lovely.
Of
They
course.
just have different ways of dealing with things, and also it doesn't really help if you have alcohol and you have a bunch of younger girls around each other with alcohol and a lot of idle time. Had we had a job or something like that, I think we would have been a little bit different had we had a little sense of responsibility. But we just kind of stayed in the house all day, stay drank and kind of got it. and all of that.
We have Casey in the comments from
Oh,
from Love Games 4. Stephanie,
hi.
what's really cracking? Salute. He's a
Yeah,
friend
I
of
know
Dre.
him. I used to live in Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn too. Blessings to you. We know.
Blessings, Casey. Nice, good to
Oh,
see you. We're really close to him. Like we're going live to him with him all the time. It's amazing,
yeah,
and he has to talk a lot,
I know.
right? And it's always fun to
He's
listen
So,
really
to him.
cool.
Stephanie,
Yes.
what were your thoughts on her replacements,
Mm.
Nancy, Rocky, and Jen?
Oh, I love them. I felt like they were all great. I felt like they were all what we needed, and they all fit into the puzzle of it all. I had great times with all of them, to be honest. I have memories of everybody. You know,
Yes,
I have tons of great memories. Everybody fits perfectly. I mean, obviously, you guys know I love Nancy. I love Southern accent and her. Got really close with each other, and
yeah.
like, you know, everybody was just really awesome. You know, everyone just had their own demons, and those demons were heightened by alcohol. Had we not had alcohol, I
Hmm.
think we would have had a
Did
very
your
different situation.
Yes, for sure. Did your relation with Jen change back then when you had beef with Paula after All-Star Battle? Because Paula was like dragging it a little bit for some years. Did Jen somehow distance herself from you
Oh,
because of that, or did
you
it
know, I
not
don't
affect
speak
your
to
relation
anyone
at
on
all?
my season. I literally only do production, and I
Oh,
speak to girls from other seasons, but I don't speak to anybody from my season. You know, it's all good. Nothing
mm,
personal. I think that everyone just kind of went their own ways. Kind of like when you are in middle school and you go to high school, you know, like all your friends are doing their own thing. I think it just kind of did that. Everyone has their own life, own businesses, children, different responsibilities. I think we all, as much as we would like to say, oh, this person, we don't like this person, we could all say that was an experience that we all shared that was really unique to us. And and I cherished it, and
mm.
I'm happy we were all at the same place at the same time. I,
And everyone from your season is like successful now.
we
Everyone has like
well, you
something
know,
going
like
on,
if had
and
we been
that.
allowed to do more, like we were go getters. We DJ'd parties, we hosted parties, we had, you know, we had it going on. We did as much as we could, you know, with what we had. It was just a different agenda that we had to follow, you know, and you know, that's just what it was on that. I just wish they would have showed more of the times that we had like amazing moments and cried together and would hold on to each other, understand like
Mm.
we are all misunderstood women. We're all here for a certain reason, and we leaned on each other at different times, even if we were not happy with each other.
Do you know the clip, the unaired scene that is on YouTube where they show you guys crying together
Yeah,
and talking about your
I,
childhood
I wish it
trauma?
would have went longer.
That was
Yeah, it
beautiful.
even we
That was
it that was
beautiful.
probably like a 2 hour conversation that we had, and that was in the beginning. We would have those all the time. You know, people would have breakdowns
Mm.
and, you know, family things at home and situations that, you know, within 3 months that people would come out of the phone booth from home and be freaked out. And, you know, it's a bonding experience. You know, people's family would be upset that they would be on there. There was different things that we would all go through that was very unique to us. And it was also very healing. I mean, we would damage each other as much as we would heal each other.
Hmm.
Really interesting
Well,
about exploitation and different
So you,
levels of exploitation. How do you think that was almost like a pecking order? Do you think that that just went according to how the girls really had their own pecking order, or just the value production saw like this is a star and that's a star?
I would say, you know, they already have the criteria that they're looking for. So they would have these big auditions. I mean, I would big audition, and they would see, who's, who's star value, who can speak into, who can use third person and who could,
Mhm.
have the best interview. That's all these interviews and to see if you can actually talk and tell a story and finish the story and be interesting and give value of some sort. You have to give some type of value. You can't just be pretty, or you can't just be pretty, or you can't just be a fighter. You have to have some type of value and some type of commercial value, which is why we, they just second week throw you out there. You guys are all doing the commercials. You never done a $1 million commercial before? Here you go. So there has to be some type of value. And most of these girls have tons of experience. Some of our models, I know I was a model before I was a child, so I already had that. I did the Tyra Banks show before this. So like I've had different things before that I've done. And so a lot of these girls have, I know girls have modeled or been video models or certain things in the industry before. So it's not really the first rodeo. It's just a huge TV production. I think that's what we're not used to. But it is an exploitation, which is why there's a certain traffic that you see on there, and a certain age, and you have to be a certain level of naive and not have the experience to sign this type of contract that's going to last for 10 years. Do things, so it's a different level. TV is a different level of exploitation. It's just, are you willing to do it or not? You're going to be exploited regardless. So
Exactly.
it's just depending on how you see it and how angry you're going to be. Yours comes out on a fucking streaming platform 10 years later, and you're like, oh, I thought you were just talking about cable, so it's really
where you said that it was the best 3 months of your life. Do you think that still holds true today?
No, because I've had better 3 months in my life. Like when I went to Barcelona 3 months, like when I had other 3 months that were amazing. I would say it's like summer camp, like it's kind of like the best summer camp ever, like, oh yeah, it was like I went to cookie camp, except we had alcohol and different of that sort. So I would say it's a great experience. People always try to make me feel bad about it sometimes, and not anymore, but before, like just different types of personality. And I'm like, I would never take this back. It's literally such I know who I am, and my mom has said that I mastered the art of I don't give a fuck. If I really give a fuck, I really don't give a fuck. And this has given me the toughest skin ever. I can walk in a room, and if somebody's bothered by my presence, I know why. Like I don't give things life like how I used to anymore, because I know that people have their intention of, oh, that's a bad girl right there. She's here to start trouble. I love being able to be here and work in Hollywood, and have a reputable job as a creative director, and have people say, oh yeah, she used to be on Bad Girls Club. Those girls are amazing. Not just be like, oh, there goes that girl who's always starting trouble. The narrative.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I saw how people looked at me,
fun.
And I didn't like that. They thought all of us as a whole of just like trash, like reality TV trash. That's not true. We are artists and singers and managers, moms, business owners, all of that shit. We just have fun when we were younger. It just happened to get caught on camera.
Right. Yeah. Red, you had a question?
I just wanted to know if the producers ever try to have you, like, kick somebody out the house, fight, be someone you're not, basically, or get more aggressive.
I wouldn't. Not that I've seen. If it.
So you never felt like they tried to push you to something when they talk to you?
I don't know what other girls' experience was, but I was never made to do something that I didn't want to do. Like, very quick on boundaries with them, and if for me, no was no, and like I'm not giving that life, which you can kind of see in personality, like I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
Your we saw you with Erica, Gia, and Camilla from season 8. How did that happen? Did you meet at an
So
appearance,
I
or did you link
was
up
always
online?
I always loved Gia. So we became friends after, and then Erica's also from New York. Gia's from, Delaware, so they're all close in proximity. So we all kind of speak the same language. We're all kind of from the same area. So I think we all really gravitate to each other. We all have children. So like a
Mm-hmm.
mommy tribe,
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why hello again.
Sorry.
All gravitate to each other because we love our children, and we're raising them in our own ways. And yeah, I think our personalities are very fitting to each other. I think I mostly keep in contact with. I think it's way. I would be friends with them in real life, even if I wasn't on that.
Right, right. Um, are you still in contact? Because with Gia, we saw you, I think,
Yeah,
many times, right? You went live
yeah,
together, you took pictures
so
together.
sweet. I
She's
love
sweet.
her. Yeah, we're all in contact. Absolutely. I mean, we talk. We have group chats and all types of things. We keep in contact. Not really in for my season, but I love them, and we send pictures of the kids, and are there for each other when
Mm-hmm.
we need it.
How long you lived with Valentina for?
Outside,
Right,
Oh, I thought you lived
right.
with Valentina for a bit, no?
she lived with me.
Oh.
Yeah. New York. She would come. Yeah. I would say a couple months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you were like roommates for years or something.
Just a
Oh,
couple
okay.
months. Good time. Like after show, just hanging out and stuff like that. We had a good time. Yeah.
In the house, actually, you were the closest, right? You and Valentina, because they made it always look like she's the closest with Alicia. But I think I
Yeah.
Who
heard
said
her or
Yeah.
that?
you saying in
That's
an
the thing
interview
about
that you
know
both
who's close to
actually.
who because
Mhm.
it's just a certain narrative that they focus off. But yeah, people were closer to others than what you would think of.
Mhm. Yeah, I can imagine that. Okay, I will look for a fan question. Da, 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 da. Okay, Erica and
Yeah.
Camila, are you still in
Yeah.
contact with them?
They're yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
I am in contact with them, but not like no, we don't talk about the show stuff. We just talk about like life stuff.
Well, I have a question. This is like kind of
Mm,
like a
what's
two-part question, but it makes sense. Right?
no?
So
I will
I
not
wanted
ask.
to know if the jumping ever made you feel uncomfortable, but I also wanted to know why everyone was mad at Nancy not Nancy, but Rocky, that she told Nancy that they was jumping when there actually was jumping. So like, what was the whole issue about that?
I don't know. I didn't have an issue with it. I was just kind of like whatever. I think that they were just sharing information. Like just giving her a heads up that these
Yeah.
something might happen. I think that's what that was. It was inflammatory things, remarks, and things of that sort.
You were good
Yeah.
with Rocky in the
Yeah.
house, right? Like you liked her. I remember you saying at the reunion, "She's a
Yeah.
bad bitch" or something
We
like that.
all had a
Um,
good time. We would all. I did our battle with her too.
mm,
We all would party and have fun. At the end of the day, we're all fun girls. If nobody has a problem with it, when we all have a
yes.
good time, like I remember being at the Roxy over here in Hollywood. We all went out, and I remember like the whole club just like sitting there and staring at us, and we were just having the best time. Like when we party and have a good time, we have the best. It's magical. It's a
Yes, your season is even if it was shown
oh
differently,
yeah,
then it really was one of my
it
favorite
was
seasons because everybody brought something to the table. Everyone was somehow likable and unique. Of course, there were scenes that were hard to watch,
mhm.
especially the first house eviction, right? The very first one that happened. Then Rocky and Jen, that was a little bit hard to watch. But other than that, everybody was
It's
somehow
so
funny,
funny. I mean,
entertaining,
so
interesting.
funny. Like we were so funny, and we just had like, I just wish like we just, I just wish they showed more of like the amazing women we were instead of like problematic, you know, wayward women that just were like, oh, we just want to get drunk and beat each other up. Like there was some intelligent conversations and just things about life and wanting to be better and, you know, just like proving yourself that they didn't get. I just wish they did because I remember I have a friend who's a scholar who goes to USC. I remember her sending me these demographics and this study on like what people think of Bad Girls Club worldwide and what effects of watching it and being in it does to the mindset of certain people. And I felt so guilty because I was like, holy shit, I participated in the destruction of what we're trying to build as a whole of like women that are different, right? Not just a stereotype, but
Here's a
just like free women, you know, like free women celebrated. We
right,
shouldn't be
right.
made feel, you know, messed up for being free or thinking free or wanting to live a not traditional lifestyle or wanting to explore their freedoms, you know. So I just that they
Right,
would have showed that
right,
because you don't want to just turn on the TV and see Black women or Latino women or different types of women just arguing with each other. There's so much more to celebrate about
mm,
us than to just arguing and tearing each other down, exposing each other for things that we should have learned from.
true. Here's a comment. Flecker bet one. Actually, I don't like the question, but I will say something to it. But why didn't y'all ever say anything to Valentina and Alicia, and why let y'all just let them be bullies? So earlier she said already it wasn't shown every conversation they had or what led up to some conversations. And I remember especially Stephanie say at the end, I don't want
Yeah,
Alicia to
yeah,
attack
we
Rocky when
definitely had
Alicia
a
was
whole
about to attack
situation where
Rocky.
we told her like no, 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 and they just didn't show that part. So like people say like, oh, why didn't you help the bullies? I'm like, well, they didn't show that part where we would sit down and be like, hey, let's all behave so we can be able to go out this weekend, you know, because I know that if there's a fight, we're going to be in the house for the next 3 days, and we're not going to have any fun until this is hashed.
Hi,
Oh, it's
I have a
baby.
beautiful.
question.
Hi.
They had that conversation with you guys to like ban you out from going out and stuff like that, but like so they weren't the type of producers that wanted to see that type of stuff because it's like all right, so y'all get in a fight or a certain type of fight and then y'all get like a punishment for it instead of like a praise.
Um, no, we would. I mean, we would never be praised for anything of that sort. I would say it would be more of a security situation if we were leaving the house and fighting at the airport or at a restaurant and breaking things apart and, you know, hurting the public or doing things like that. So I think it was more of a security issue of like these girls are a little riled up and they know that we have it in destroy the whole
Yeah.
world in 1 second. So I think that they would just be like, just keep them in a house for a little bit. So, you know, they don't want us breaking off into groups and making things even worse and missing things on camera. So I think that was more of a tactical thing for us than anything. But
Mm,
yeah, that's what I
mm.
would say.
Did you watch BGC
No,
like
I never
frequently
watched it before.
before?
I just
And
saw a couple of
uh,
clips when I was in finance. Okay, let me watch what this is. And I saw a couple of it and I was like, oh my God. But I didn't really watch it before. I was not like a fan before.
okay,
Um,
okay,
real quick,
good. Kelsey or Reg, do you
Yeah.
still have questions? And
can
because next
I
I
add
will
something real
add
quick?
impressive
So,
Yeah.
catch.
my baby
Of
wants
course,
my attention
of
anyway.
course.
So, the whole Kunta Kinte thing, obviously a very understandable reason to get upset, but I feel like it was never brought up again from what we see, like on our end. Was it continually brought up in the house?
No,
Like, was that part of,
that,
okay.
that was a very long fight. I mean, I fell
Hmm.
asleep and woke up and they were like everyone was just still drinking. And you know, when you know everyone's just drinking and it's just being strung out and it's like 8 hours later, it's like, people are gonna say crazy stuff. In today's day, cancel culture and all of that, it would be like a big thing. But I would say they always try to cancel us. We don't believe in cancel culture because we're like, fuck you. We can say whatever the fuck and do whatever the fuck we want. And I think that's why I also embrace the fact that I have this in me, because it also helps me in my work, because I'm also an educated woman that I learned, like, I don't care what you think. No, I'm confident in myself and this is who I am. So I've gotten that in me from that, which helps.
Uh, all right. Kelsey, if you want, you can hop out, like be a little bit with your baby. I will add Impressive Can. And later, if Red or Impressive Can is
All
done, I
right, so nice
can
to
switch you
meet
back in. Okay,
you.
my
Bye,
love?
Stephanie.
Yeah, I have to go because I have to go to
Yes,
work.
sweetheart.
Okay.
You have to go to work.
I
Okay,
have about like
so how
five,
much time do
ten
you
minutes
still have
before I
left?
need to get going.
I'll hop on. Alrighty.
5, 10 minutes?
So nice
Okay,
to
that's
meet
fine.
you.
That's totally fine. I
So
will
nice
look
to meet
I'll
for.
give her a chance.
Okay,
Bye.
you. Bye.
How do I get myself off of here? I don't know how
bye
to do
bye.
it. Can you remove me? Or do I have to just leave the
I have
live?
no idea how
Oh,
Yeah.
it works.
Stephanie, I have a question
Okay.
about
Yes,
All-Star Battle.
yes,
So,
just
what challenge did you enjoy the most?
What challenge
Yeah, what was, more
for
enjoyable for
All-Star
you?
Battle?
Yeah.
I didn't like any of them. I was like,
Really?
I was not. I'm not a physical activity type of girl.
Yeah.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, so this is
Hello.
Impressive Ken. Hi,
Hi.
Hi,
sweetheart. Good to see
How are
Stephanie.
you.
you?
Good. How are you?
Great. I'm doing really good.
So let me make it quick, son. You have to go to work.
Okay.
So to elaborate, did you feel any producers treated more girls fair, like had favoritism in the house when it came to going home or certain fights?
I wouldn't say favoritism. I would say that it was easier to deal with certain girls than others. So it wasn't really a
Mm-hmm.
thing of like they were favorite. It was just mostly like on the girl's temperament. So if you were to them, they were nice to you. If you were a nasty person to them and very entitled, they were nasty.
Well,
Now, for going back to Bad Girls Club All Star, you don't have to answer if you don't feel comfortable answering.
Okay.
But what was the main reason you and Paula had issues? Because I was wondering, like, what was the real issue?
I think okay, so I'll say this. I think that it was different. The vibe was different between us when we got on that show, and we didn't really recognize each other anymore. We wanted different things in life and we didn't know how to communicate that. So I think that just carried itself and manifested into other things. And yeah, it was like you don't really want to think too hard on a friendship. You just want it to be organic, so it was
yeah.
no longer.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a competition show, so it was always going to be messy no matter who won.
Of course. I mean, if you were the last two, you would have had to vote her out, you know? So if it happens earlier, I don't understand why it's such a problem. It's a game, right?
I'm like, okay.
And did you feel like the creators
Yeah.
of the show should have created a more comfortable and safe environment based on some of the things that have happened in your season?
Yeah, I would think so. I think um I think they should have just allowed us to have a little bit of better of a narrative instead of just.
Yeah. I mean, the Janae situation, they could have sent the car a little bit earlier, but they let it happen for a long, 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 long time
Oh
while she was waiting for the
my
car.
God.
And it got worse and
Oh
worse.
my
It was
God, all of
terrible.
that. Sometimes you just don't even want to get involved because it's just a mess. Like sometimes I would just be out of it because I'm like, I'm PMSing right now. I don't want to mess with y'all. I'm tired. My head hurts. Why do I have to be here? Like, different things. So that's why you only see glimpses and pieces of me because it's not really, I just wanted to do things in my own life.
And
Flacca Bad One is saying her favorite clip of Steph is in the Making It to the Mansion Club episode when you were dancing in that
Oh,
cheetah dress. It was lit. She's
oh my God. Oh, that was a fun day. Yeah, that was great. I had the best time, and I really just had the best time. That really was me at that age. I'm happy I
okay.
did it, and really happy that people liked me for me. You know, it was very embracing. People say, "Oh my God, I love you." I'm
Right.
like, "Oh my God, that's great," because I didn't really care to just be like a star or anything. I just wanted the few that liked me just to love me, and that's it.
Right, right. Impressive, Ken.
Yeah.
Do you have another question? I would then ask two more
Yeah.
questions from the question box, and then we can finish. Is that fine? Do
Okay.
you,
So as
okay,
far as
cool,
your
cool.
endeavors, are you still interested in modeling?
Oh, so I've already been I'm already done with all of that in my head. I've already got over the eating disorder and all that part. Modeling has always been a part of my life since I was a child. And so I go in and out of it when I have projects and friends and things of that sort. Is being signed, having that pressure. I don't really want to do that right now because I'd rather work as a creative director and bring my ideas to life. Um, Being a model is
Mm,
very pressuring and a very demanding lifestyle that does not pay enough. So I just wanted to use my brain and actually do other things and to be a prop. That's how I felt. You know, it was no longer
right.
fun to me anymore. So I go in and out of it. I love doing, little things here and there, but it wasn't good for me and my self-esteem because I was very hard on myself.
BGC Obsessed asks, what do you think about Andre wanting to get on Zeus, on the Zeus network, where some bad boys and
I
baddies
don't,
is
I
airing?
don't, I don't entertain. I don't entertain that. No. Yeah.
And that's like you don't care, I guess, right? Okay. BGC Girls Inc. is a part of BGC Positivity. Do you think you can help us get an interview with Gia?
So it's really hard for most of the girls to do interviews because it really depends on if you want to talk about that in your life. And a lot of girls are in healing journeys. The only reason I do interviews now is because
Yeah.
my contract is up, and also like I rather bring more positivity to the brand than just tearing it up. And I rather bring light at the fact that most of us are educated and are doing well in our lives now, as opposed to, you know, trying to host parties and do all this other stuff. I feel like there should be more awareness of how we were portrayed and how we all have to heal after this whole thing.
Jess Monet from season 11 is sending
Aww.
kisses and hugs.
Hi,
I'm seeing them. Oh,
kissing and hugs.
she's,
Oh my,
she's amazing. She's wonderful. She's a great girl. Did you ever meet you and Jess
I'm
Monet?
sorry.
Did
Never
you ever
met her
meet
before, but I
you
spoke
and
to her.
Jess
Oh my,
Monet
she's
from the
very
season?
beautiful, stunning. I that's
Yeah,
what
she's
I feel like.
amazing. She's
I feel
amazing.
like
Maybe one day
we
we
should
can.
all like everyone should have been praised and celebrated for really who they truly are and not their demons that come out every once in a while.
And you guys are sisters. You all
Oh
went,
yeah,
like in some way, you all went
absolutely.
through something
That connection to
nobody
everyone. It's
else.
kind of like
Yeah.
being in Girl Scouts, like everyone's like, "Oh, Girl Scout, you're a Girl Scout, you're a Girl Scout." We've all
Right.
been stupid enough to sign this contract together. We all suffered and did this knowingly, but we should all be celebrated because we are all amazing women. I am a huge advocate on reality TV stars or people that are on those shows to get the help that they need, like just like mental health services, just to kind of ease your way back into the real world, and to actually
Mm,
pay these people for their work that you've done, actually give them a living
right.
wage and not
Right.
just have hey, here you go, enough to pay for your makeup and your hair and do whatever after it. So I just feel like the being exploited and all that, it takes a while to heal back from that. And when you jump into another show, you just prolong that. So yeah, for me, I'm just happy to be able to create and be an artist and be myself, and that's just a part of my path. And I feel like now a lot of girls are going to be going through the same thing because you guys have tons of reality shows on tons of streaming networks and OnlyFans and things of that sort. There's going to be a lot of things that people are going to have to reface in 10 years. I knew that once this came out, I was going to have to answer to my husband, my son, and God, or whoever it is that I end up with. So it's not really
Right.
when you find the love of your life and they're like, oh, hey, uh, what is this? Here, I just saw somebody that looks like you on Hulu. Yeah. They're like, oh, yeah, about that. 10 years ago. So yeah, it's very hard to explain. And you kind of have to say, I was kind of stupid in the past, but I had so much fun. And I finally found someone that embraces that. So I'm happy that I'm in a good place, that I'm not ashamed of myself. But I just wish a lot of the girls would get over it, that shame, and be able to celebrate themselves, and see what brought and how many people's lives they changed on being themselves and allowing themselves to grow.
Right, right. Okay, Stephanie, I don't want to take your time. Do you think we can make like a part two
Yeah,
and another
yeah,
whenever
yeah,
you have
yeah, of
time
course.
or something?
Do this.
Yes, that's amazing. Thank you so
Thank
much. You're doing great. You look beautiful. We
you.
are very
I
thankful
can't
about your time.
I can't wait.
God bless you. I wish you all the best. And we're
Yes, we
linking up in summer in
are. Yes,
Berlin.
we are.
You
Please,
said
I'm
that.
telling
I
you
checked.
right now. Like, my friend is in Nambag and her other friend is in Spalba. So like we go skiing and stuff. And I
Oh,
always go to like
okay.
Barcelona and all that. So we'll talk. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna come, and then we can get some beers and sit outside in the beer garden and just talk shit.
Absolutely. We're gonna
Thank
do
you
that.
so
Bye.
Okay, my
much.
Take care.
kisses. Kiss. I see you.